Morning all, morning all. Buenos dias, I should say. I must try and get into the habit of saying buenos dias because it's very, very Spanish. Right, first off, thank you everyone for joining us. I see Gordon's here, nice and early. Gordon's in Scotland, I think, if I remember rightly. Good old Scottish name. Mark says hi. Hello, Mark. We got snow here. We had a bit of rain yesterday, and tell you that it is absolutely covered in snow. I saw this morning, which I'm going to show you now, a video from the meteorological team in Tenerife when they were up there last night. Morning, James. David's joined us. Hi, Carl. Thanks very much for joining us, everyone. Let's have a quick look at the video just while we're waiting for people to join us without starting too much. So this was the video that the meteorological centre from Tenerife up in the volcano did this morning, or this morning, I suppose, isn't it? So that's that. That was what's I going to say? Hang on a sec, move that, that's better. That was up there today. They said that today's temperatures will be probably no higher than 18 centigrade today, and inland more like about 13, so 18 on the coast, and it is chilly, I tell you. Look, got this on as well, my cardigan on. So old mum says hi. Donnie's there, all well, thank you. No worries, Gordon. That was a pleasure to meet Rick. So Gordon sorted out a little meeting last week with Rick. I hope everyone is very impressed with my audio. I spent the rest of Saturday afternoon and a bit of Monday morning working out exactly what I was going to do with my audio. And this is the result. This is anyone that knows anything about microphones, this is a microphone I have for my camera normally, but I've set it up on a tripod right just here by my mouth. So hopefully no echo. Maybe give us a couple of thumbs up if anyone is feeling the vibe of the new audio. Hi Lorraine. Oh, thank you, Gordon. So Gordon says perfect, whether that's me or whether that's a microphone, I don't know. Right, now then, we've got a bit to get on with. Let me just have a quick look here. What else was I going to do? Am I going to say anything else? Yeah, thanks for Rick last week. It was nice. I don't know if he got to... Oh, Gordon, you'll tell us perhaps. Gordon, did he get to his 1,000 subscribers? Was he able to do his... I know it wouldn't be just for us on here, I know, but did he do that? Do you know? Let us know, Gordon, if you wouldn't mind. Right, so let's get on with the show. I don't know why I'm speaking a northern accent. Thanks, Alison. It's a pleasure now, hopefully, for you guys, rather than having to listen through some sort of an echoey type of room. Okay, so the whole point of... good. So Gordon said, I don't know who can see what actually. So anyway, Gordon says, look, let's put that on there. Gordon Squire says he got to 1,000 last night. So that was good. So I don't know if any of you guys were there helping him along, but and saw him doing his things. That was good. Thanks, James. Look at that. See what James says? Time well spent on the audio. Ooh, ooh. I'm quite pleased with that, actually. It came through. I got here. Look, I've got this one, which I've had for a while, but it's a Trust microphone. I think it would be all right. I've got it there just in case the battery goes in this one, but being a Boy Scout, I've got a new battery as well just in case. So I might get some rechargeable ones for it if it works. Well, obviously it seems to be working. So it is pretty hot in Costa del Silencio, this person says. Let's have a look here. Slavia Biltzing, sorry. It's pretty hot in Costa del Silencio, Amaria Bay. It is very nice, I've got to say, Slavia. It is very nice outside, very, very nice blue skies and a sort of a crisp morning. But I felt it a little bit chilly just on the way in. Jackie says, morning from Scarborough. I bet that's cold up in Scarborough. Morning, Jackie. How are you? All right? There we are. Look. Right. Okay. So, I'm going to say about this. I saw some clients during the week. They've been here since... November, and they say they don't watch the show on Saturday live, but they do watch on Sunday mornings. So I'm going to say hello George and hello Karen, sitting on their balcony hopefully watching us. So that's them said hello to, George and Karen. Right, where are we on our search for a property? Let's just get this up here. And so this is going to be part 3 of the buying process. Part 3 of the buying process is the big day. This is the big day. You've pretty much sorted all your money out. You've found your dream home. You've signed a contract. You put your deposit down. You have also got everything ready. You've got your NIE or your TIE, whichever one you need, and everything's ready, and you're here. So you've left it a few days. You've made sure that you're here at least a day before the notary signing. I always say that just in case there's some sort of delay or something like that. So if if you're signing on the 15th, try and make sure you get here for the 14th. I have had people arrive on the 15th, and it has worked out all right. But if something went wrong, it wouldn't have necessarily been that good. So you've arranged for your lawyer. You signed your contract, and now you are going to go into. There we are. So you're going to go into your notary. So your notary appointment will almost certainly be in the morning, almost certainly. And what you really do need to be careful of is plenty of sitting about. Anyone who's already bought a property here will know that that is, generally speaking, not a joke. They say that they do say that the Spanish are quite slow, mañana. In a lot of things, they're not. I'm going to support them there and stand up for them. In a load of things, they're not, because as I think we might have said last week, that if you're thinking about buying a property and you're here and you've got your money here and the seller's here and they're ready to sign and move out, you can actually get it done in about five or six working days. So in that particular respect, they're not slow. But the actual signing at the notary, when you actually realise that all you're actually supposed to be doing is signing a bit of paper and having it all checked over, can take quite a while. Now, the lawyer will have prepared everything with some of the staff in the notary office there, and then they'll be doing a draft contract. So what you must do is, because they'll be taking copies of these, you must take your passport and you must take your NIE or your TIE with you. So that's something you must do. If you're selling, don't forget you must take some keys. And if you're buying, probably your lawyer will have already sorted out your checks or made a bank transfer. But just make sure that you'll have, just make sure that you have those two things there, passport and NIE, because they're the only things that they probably won't have formal copies of. They'll be taken from you pretty much when you're in the notary, and they will be copied and also made formally stamped with the notary stamp to say these are official copies of your ID. So you must take those, and then we're going to move to, right, so while you're waiting, and as I say, it could be a bit of a while, while you're waiting, you'll be, they'll be the guys in the office will be typing out the draft contract. So this will be pretty much what we did in our contract last week, if you remember, who's buying, who's selling, how much it's selling for, what the property is, all that sort of thing. The dates probably not. The dates of signing will be on the contract, but the dates of when the deposit and that sort of thing will be in there, but just down a bit further within that document, because it needs to be proven when you paid and what you paid, and also where your money came from as well. So if your lawyer asks you to give proof of where your money came from, just send it over, because the point is that they're trying to stop a lot of money laundering. So if you can send that over as well for them if necessary. They don't always ask for it, but a lot of them do. So they're doing this title deed, which is going to be signed by you, the buyer, by the seller, and by the notary as well. And the draft will be brought in eventually with your passports and your NIEs back onto the table, and the translator will come in. Assuming you're not Spanish, you're probably not watching this program actually if you're Spanish, but if you're of any other language, the translator will come in to translate it verbally for you, because the paperwork itself will be in Spanish. But it will be translated into English as an absolute minimum if your language isn't supported by the translator. So if that translator doesn't speak that language, then one would hope that, well, maybe even if you bring your own translator. But I mean, there's very few languages I would think that perhaps have had any problem in the notary. I'm not saying, as an example, if someone's Finnish, I suspect that they're quite happy to they pretty much understand English. So anyway, that'll be translated. So the translation of the deed is done by normally the proper translator in the notary. If they're on an extremely busy day, your lawyer might do it for you. And so the translation will be, I don't know if I wrote this there. No, I didn't write down. I wanted a little thing there, but I didn't write that one down this morning. Okay, so the translation will be done by that. And then it'll basically be, can you check your names? You personally, can you check your names just to make sure they're spelt right? Check your address, make sure it's spelt right, and then the translation will be done, and it will say, right, so Mr. and Mrs. Bloggs are buying from Mr. and Mrs. Smith this property, Los Cristianos, for this amount, just exactly as we went through last week, exactly the same. But this is the formal thing. This is the thing that is going to be your deed. It won't be that bit of paper, because I'll tell you why in a minute. But this is exactly what it'll be. Now, once that translation's done and everyone's happy with it, or if there are any changes, there'll be changes made on that draft. Then the actual draft will be taken away again and printed on proper quality notary paper. And then it'll be brought in again with your passports and with your NIs, and then they'll put on the desk, probably with checks, if there's checks have been made already, because the notary will be going through all of that as well, just to make sure that everything's in order. And then the notary will come in. So then we'd have the signing of the deeds. So the notary will sit at probably the end of the desk and greet you all. Now, notary, as I said last week, higher than a lawyer, lower than a judge, invariably would be around sort of 50 years old. I think it's 5 or 7 years they've got to go through university to become that. And in fact, they're actually invited. I read this. They're invited by the, I don't know, group of association of notaries or something like that, and they're invited to become a notary in a town. So they've obviously could wait a long time. But the youngest notary that I ever saw, and in fact I had made a note of saying that it would be Yare in San Eugenio, if anyone's been there. He's quite young. I'm going to say probably 35. But there was a young one as well here in Los Cristianos. And we only used him once because the other guy was on holiday or something like that, but he seemed very young as well. So they must almost like leave college and university and think, right, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing notary work, and then just that's their job, and that's their training. But anyway, it takes a long time. But most notaries are probably around sort of 50 years old, something like that. So they'll come down, they'll sit down, and now they won't necessarily do any translation. They'll more than likely be talking to your lawyers, your legal representatives, something like that, just confirming things, and they'll be speaking in Spanish. But yeah, okay, he'll take your passports. Yeah, that's your face. Yeah, that's your face. Okay, fine. Used to be an old boy in San Eugenio, actually. He's retired now. In fact, the young guy, he bought his business. But the old boy, he didn't really have a lot of English in him at all. And he used to sort of say, all is clear. And you just go, yep. Okay. And then he'd sign. So, but anyway, they're a little bit more knowledgeable of English now. So once everyone's happy and the lawyer's happy, and he'll be going through, not the lawyer, the notary's going through, and doesn't always have to be a bloke, by the way. There is a female notary in, I want to say Armenime, but it's not Armenime, it's Alcalá. There's a female notary there that I've been to down in Alcalá as well. So the notary will look through all of this paperwork, just make sure that everything's all in order. We'll be asking various questions. For example, there's an outstanding mortgage. Right, okay, I know, I see there's a check there to pay the bank back or whatever, or €1,000 outstanding on community fees. Right, okay, a little bit further, they'll realise that there's €1,000 not being given to the seller, and the buyer or the buyer's lawyer will keep it, so then they can pay it off. So all of that sort of thing goes on, and then it's pretty much very simply, buyers will sign it, sellers will sign it, and the lawyer will sign it. And also there'll be a space. There might already be a signature on there from the translator. If not, then it'll be just signed afterwards by the translator, and that is it. It could take 2 hours. I think my record is probably 4 hours. I'm pretty certain I've been in there 4 hours. I was getting absolutely mad about it. And it was ridiculous because they were doing absolutely nothing particularly for our particular case. But anyway, there we are. So signatures done. What happens next? Checks will be passed over because the lawyer will just leave the checks on the table. He's not interested about who has what. He basically just get left on the table. So if there are checks rather than a bank transfer, checks will be passed over. And Checks will be checks will be passed over. Keys, don't forget, because the seller should be bringing the keys, so the keys will be handed over. Maybe the agent's there, and the agent should be there actually trying to help things along. Very nice of them to show up. We do our best. No, I'm always there. It's always part and parcel of the whole thing. If you started from the start, it's nice to finish off at the end and see everyone's happy. So keys and that sort of thing are over, and then that's it. That is your property. You've bought it. You can go to it straight away. You've got the keys. I always recommend change the locks. You just don't know who's had the keys. I mean, a cleaner might have had the keys. Cleaner might have had one cut for another cleaner that while this cleaning was away or something, and friends have had them cut. So just change a lock. It doesn't cost a lot. I mean, you just spent a whole load of money. You might as well spend another 30 or 40 euros and get that done. And then what happens after that is the lawyer will just go and do their bits and bobs, which I explained last week, which is all the utility bills. They'll change utility bills. They'll speak with the town hall and tell them that you're now the new owner. They'll also get in contact with the administrators of that complex. If you bought on a complex, let them know that you're the new owners, so that so they can give you all the information of the notes and anything that's changing, and they email you for all that sort of thing, and also hopefully set up your direct debits in the bank as well for your utilities. They'll also speak to the town hall. Again, went through that last week, but speak to the town hall to tell them that you're the new owners, so that your rubbish and your property taxes and that sort of thing can be put into your name as well. So all of that's there, and that is it, guys. That's the whole process. So from start to finish, I hope you've been taking notes. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't been taking notes, because I've got this checklist, haven't I? If you want the checklist, there's an email. Where's the email there? Hang on, there. Right. So that's my phone number. That's my email. So if you email simonsg@tenerifepropertygroup.com, and just put checklist, or I want the checklist, whatever. Lots of people have done it already. I'll be writing a checklist out once this is all done, and we'll you'll just get that. So you can just, so if you're buying, then I mean, if you're buying through us, you won't really need it, because we'll obviously help you out all the way through. But you might want to just check we're doing our job right. Now then, what else was I going to say? Oh, I tell you what, next week will be part 4 of our 4-part series. And what I'm thinking about doing, if anyone's interested, what I'm thinking about doing is question and answer. And if anyone's interested, it'd be question and answer if you didn't quite get anything during this sort of first 3 parts. But also we'll have a few questions and answers about Brexit and what that has meant for people who want to come and stay. The new TIE, perhaps I'll get my TIE out and show people what it's all about. And what else? Oh, and also, so if you wanted to, if anyone would like to come on the show and ask a question, then I'll happily, but like I did last week, if you were here last week, I had, can't remember his name now. I know it's going all through your minds now, but anyway, he came on the show. So I'll put you on, and then you can ask your question, and then we'll see if we can answer it for you. So that might be a bit of fun. So send me an email with your question and let me know if you want to be on the show, and I'll tell you how to do it, and maybe we'll practice the day before or something like that. And then so it looks semi-professional, at least semi-professional. What else am I going to say to you? Yeah, so just do that. So send me questions. Send me an email with checklist written on it if you want it. If you want a checklist, which will come out probably at the end of next week, because I'll do some questions and answers. And if there's any sensible questions and answers that I feel should be on that list, then I'll write that on there as well. Then I'll just email it out to everyone. What else was it? And that's about it then, really. So maybe there are 3 or 5 people on the show next week, and email me if you'd like to come on. Oh, I tell you what, I would like. Is anyone here? I'm going to get to some comments first. Is anyone right, let's just go through. Hang on a sec. So we've had a few people chatting. Let's have a look here. I think we got up to, oh yeah, because we got up to Gordon where he said 1,000, didn't it? There we are. There's Gordon with his 1,000. Right. So morning, Garth. Garth is in Bingley. I don't know where that is. It's up north somewhere. Is it like that? Oh, James. Yeah. Thanks, James. I said about that. James telling me. Morning, Simon, David, and Rebecca. Rebecca, not Rebecca. Hi, guys. First time watching you live from Nottingham. Hope you're keeping warm, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Mike's here. Mike says hello to everyone there. Aberdeen or David Bone with a surname like that. You could have put a joke in there, David. It's freeze into the bone. I'm sure. Reads from Leeds are here. Morning, Reads from Leeds. They say morning, everyone. I use power of attorney. So yeah, right. So there we are. So Mike says, so this is when they were completing on their property. They used a power of attorney, so they didn't end up sitting around for ages. It's not always a case of everyone sitting around for ages, but I just like to warn you that potentially you could be. So is there? Oh no, Gordon's heating blew up today, so he's not having a lot of luck. This is you lot just chatting amongst yourselves. Oh dear, poor old Simon spends ages doing all this thing, and then all you're doing is chatting amongst yourselves. That's all right. I'm only joking. Bingley, West Yorkshire. Look, you see, that's why I use my my northern accent. You see, West Yorkshire. I bet that's a terrible impression. Right, so don't forget for next week, please. If you really want to be on the show, and you can be. Oh no, hang on a sec. Before anyone goes, I want anyone's opinion on my plant in the garden, because neither Anna or I have any idea what it is. I'll explain about it in a second, and then I'll put it on the screen and you better see it. But just don't forget, before we go, send me an email if you want the checklist to that email address there. That one there, for goodness sake. Send me an email about if you want to be on the show next week. Send me an email with any questions, not a problem, and any questions for next week as well. And I know some of you have as well, so I have received some emails about questions, so I'll put them down. We'll sort of collate them into a sort of 5 or 7 sort of thing, and then we'll have maybe a couple of you on as well if anyone's interested. And right, so back to the plant thing. If anyone knows what that is, so that was this morning, right? And what it should be, you see the size of that stalk thing there? It was actually originally, I'm going to play it again. That pot was originally set aside for some herbs, and it was going to grow some herbs in there. But that thing grew up over the past couple of days. And she said she'd noticed it a while. There's another one right behind it. I don't know if you can see it behind those lights. In fact, we took those lights out this morning as well because they don't work. Solar lamps and Chinese solar lamps that don't work. But that, I mean, I think it looks like a tree. So any comment? The only reason I say it looks like, yeah, that's what I thought. Triffid mixes a triffid. Is it related to a spider? But I thought it looked like a bit like what's it called? Almost like a pine tree or something like that. So anyway, anyone got any ideas? We'll keep an eye on it, and maybe I'll bring up a photograph of it or something. Had some rain the other day, yesterday, as you know, because the snow on Tady had a lovely rainbow, which I put out on Facebook or Instagram yesterday, something like that. It was a really nice photograph as it was coming down. Now, someone just put a question there. Did you get my question re 90-day post? Yes, I got that, Dave, and I will be adding that. I'm not going to reply because I'm just going to just reply next week. So it'll be a reasonably long question. Of course, this is the main question that everyone has about the 90-day thing. So not to worry, I'll get to that next week. Plants that. Yes, Mike, I've thought about that. Look, has anyone seen that before then? Mike says, use Plant Snap or similar app to identify it on your phone. Right. I saw this advertised and I thought, now I'm not a plant person, so really, even if it's €5, I'm not going to spend the money on it because, well, I've got you lot to answer the question anyway to start with. No, I thought there's this application that you can put on your phone and you take a photograph and it tells you what the plant is. And it is, whether how good it is, I don't know. How accurate, I should say, it is, I really don't know. But there was also an app I saw about plants, and I saw it in the Spanish telly the other day, where you can put your, you can take a photograph of a leaf of your plant and it will tell you what's wrong with it. So it's got too much water or not enough water or something like that. So I thought that was quite interesting. A dragon tree. Right. Well, we'll leave it 500 years then, Reads from Leeds, and we'll see that. Has everyone been to Ecod to see the dragon tree? It should be, let's have a look here. Hang on a sec. Actually, I'll probably not to worry too much, but if you've ever been to Ecod, see the dragon tree. Ooh, dragon tree. There we are. Look. There we are. That is actually a picture of, isn't it? Oh, blast. That is a picture of, yeah, that is in Ecod itself, isn't it? Let's just show my screen here. You see that one there? The one there, the larger one on the right-hand side. That's a dragon tree. I think that's the one that's actually in Ecod. So they call that the dragon tree. Might be a dragon tree, you never know. It looks like some other things. I don't know if they're all dragon trees. Anyway, we'll look into it, and we'll look into it. Thanks very much, and thanks for your. Oh, Andy Bell says 490. Oh, what's that for? Thanks for all the info. What have you done? What have you? Is that how much it is then? Well, Andy Bell 490. So it's 4.99 for the app, I suppose. Thanks all for the info, partner. I don't know what that actually means. Is that 4.99 to pay for it, or if good even with his crown on? That's Andy and probably Burger King, I should think, with the Burger King crown on. Madness, absolute madness. Right, Dave Reese says, hi Simon, for final property with another agent I like, can you intervene? Yeah, okay, that's a nice question. Thanks, Dave. If you do find another property with another agent, your best bet is to get in contact with us before you actually inquire about it. I said in the show last week, I think it was, that if very often you'll see properties that are on the internet but not actually for sale, and a lot of agents are doing that. They leave them on there. Sometimes they leave them on there because they really don't know that it's been sold, but there are some agents that leave them on there intentionally at a lower price to try and drag you in. But if you see something, yeah, that'd be absolutely lovely, David. You just send us the link and just say, yeah, quite interested in this one. Can you find out about it? It might well be a very simple answer as, yeah, that's not exactly what you're looking for. So, because of course the photographs are, you know, what estate agents are like, the photographs might not be exactly what it really is like inside, or it might be right next door to a sewage plant or something like that. So, you know, those are the sort of things that we can possibly just, knock off your list straight away. So, Gordon says he's donated to, well, that's nice of you, Andy. Thank you. Andy's donated me some money. I don't know how you've done that, but I don't even know where do I go and get it from? Then I'll have a look in my computer a bit later and see. Thanks, Andy. That's nice of you. I didn't even know you could do that. I've seen people do it, but I mean, I haven't even set it up to know how to do it. But anyway, that's very nice of you, Andy. Thank you. What else is it? Yeah. So, David, yeah, the answer to your question is yes. I'd like to intervene as your agent, as I say, and we can very often shorten that list down, because either A, we find out that it's sold straight away anyway, or if we know your criteria, then we can say, oh, it's not actually for you anyway. So, David, now look, David's on my side. Does look like a pine tree. Take a screenshot and show Anna. I did say it looked like a pine tree, just taking the mic, but anyway, there we are. Gordon says PayPal. Thank you. Thank you, Gordon. I'll have a look into it. I'll find £4.99 knocking around somewhere. Right, guys, it's 27 minutes. I'm sure you've had enough of me waffling on. I'm sure the weather will warm up shortly. If you've got any questions at all, anytime, just email me, phone me, not a problem either way. And what's it got here? Good. Oh, yeah, I could try that as well. Yeah, Mike's saying do a reverse image search on that. If I look into it, listen, all right, next week, that's going to be my, I've done my audio. The audio's fine. So, it looks like a male makes tailweed. Don't know what that means. That's my mum. Makes tailweed. Don't know. Anyway, what I'm going to do is that is my job for the next few days. Then I'll find out what it is and hopefully report back to you guys next week. As I say, any questions, email me, phone me, and email me if you want to be on the show next week. We're allowed to have up to, on this system, up to nine guests. It'll be me and 9 guests. So if you want to be on, we can easily do that, and you can ask your own question. So let me know on the email, and have a great week. That's about it. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.